hang on. What the heck has happened here? Hello? See what happens? I was messing about with the camera. Hang on. Oh, let me try this again. And I press that. And then what? Oh no, this is an awful situation to be in. And I was only joking as well about the 10. I was really busy and I needed to do some stuff, but I can't work out where my head's gone. Where's my head gone, man? This is rather distressing. Hang on, let me just turn off the camera and I'll put it back on again. I'm sure there's a way of doing this. Hang on. Come into the light. How bizarre. Hang on. Oh, look at that. So, oh dear. No, I was only joking. I've been so busy today. I was up at the crack of dawn, bless her, and working on my company website, did a load of blog posts and stuff. And then I've been spending the entire whole day working on a new video for Rokk, the channel. I saw it pop up then, you know. Right, hang on one second. I need to try this. Half a head is better than none, I guess. What the heck? Oh no. See, what happened was I pulled the screen out the back of my camera. Hang on. And it stopped working. Oh no, let me just try something else. Let me go to half a head. I wonder if it's not the lens, is it? Let's just, I tell you what, we could just do it like this, couldn't we? Let me just go to my camera and turn off video broadcast, because that's probably what the deal is here. Put that on for a second. Turn that off. Turn it off, Rokk. And then camera mate. I think that's the one. Oh, Crystal, bless you. God bless you, governor. Been a member for 5 months. Wow. Right, let me try this. Ha! It was in video broadcast. Damn it. Damn in video broadcast hell. There you go. Hello! Right, okay. We're getting somewhere. See, the camera's all over the place now. If I push it that way and then zoom in a bit and then there like that. That's not so bad. I can live with that. It's better than nothing, isn't it? It was in video broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Don't blame me. Damn you, NVIDIA. I know why it is. I'm Little Rokk down here. I know why it is. It's because I was playing Starfield on my... how's that? Careful. I was playing Starfield on my Ally with the AMD chip, and it was good. It was. I enjoyed it. I still feel like I'm a little head. Oh. That's better. Nobody watches. It's all good. Let's have a look. Yes, we're getting there. Good. Okay. Right. I think that'll do it. Hallelujah. I'll put some lighting on just to illuminate the subject. Look at that. Wow. That, my friends, is a thing of beauty. There we go. Oh, I'm a little bit out of focus. I can sort this out with my amazing super duper remote focusing ring. Yes, watch this. I just got to go. Let's see. Oh, no, the other way. A bit that way. Oh, that's a hell of a focused out. That's better. I think that'll do for today, ladies and gents. Ryan, how are you, my friend? dear little Ryan, he was the first one here. And I was heading upstairs for a shower because I literally been working since about 5:30 and I haven't left my little office. So I thought, crikey, I've only got 10 minutes before the show. If I'm really super duper quick, I can jump in the shower. And then I said, right, that's it. I'm not coming on until there's 10 of you. And dear little Ryan was like, well, it's a bit odd, but it's all right. Bless you, governor. God bless you. Oh, bless you. And all that's selling you. I'm still mucking about here. Stop mucking about, Rokk. No, I need to get it correct. It's got to be all good. How are you guys? Did you have a great weekend? I did. I had a corker. It's all right. It's going to be all sorts going on here for the minute while I play around with things, but it'll be good. That'll do it for now. Yes. Do you know what? I say that'll do it. That's literally gone straight back to where we were. The way we were. I did. I know. I heard you asking. I did have a good weekend. We went down to collect elderflower, and we had a nice few days away. Went to my daughter's final exhibition of her artwork and stuff, which was awesome. She won a prize for her creativity and for her social conscience work. She's been doing a lot around taboos and stigma, doing some really amazing design work around all of that stuff. So she won a prize for it, which was awesome. I shouldn't complain. It was too hot after the wet summer. I know, mate. I think we've had the best of it though. And we had 4 days? So it was pretty bad, wasn't it? But it was hot. I agree. It got very, very hot. Very, very hot. But we're all back. We're back on track for the fall and autumn and stuff, as you do. But, it's all good. I don't mind the fall, actually. I think I'm more of a spring guy. I don't mind any of the seasons as long as the sun's out. You know what I mean? I'm just going to create a little projector, which is OBS Talk. Rokk, my weekend was epically entertaining, says Anne, as we went to the movies. You go a lot to the old flicks, bro, don't you? And, oh yes, he went to New York to meet Chariot. Yes. Have you put the video up yet? As I know you will have filmed it. There it is. Cool. Oh, that's awesome, Anne. I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. How did you get on with the old fella? And his glass of iced water with water, as he said, it's water, but with ice. It tickled me. I don't even think he meant it to be funny. It was funny. I hope you had a good time. What we did all that stuff, and we went restauranting, and I'm not much of a restaurateur, as it goes. But it's all right, it's all good. It's lovely to have the girlies home. Not yet. I have one more video to put up, says Anne. And then I'll be working on that one. He was the best tour guide ever. Oh, bless. But I always imagine that you go to New York a fair amount, because it's kind of not that far from you, is it? Being down in Jersey. I would have thought it's a couple of hours to get into New York. Well, certainly Brooklyn, and I know New York's a state. I know that. I know sometimes they clean it up. Hey! Ah, bless. I just found my big thick socks. Look at that. These are my winter socks. Oh, these are lovely though. Look, they're like slippers. See, they got the little rubbery pad. There, let you see. You put them on. They look like the socks what Stan Laurel used to wear. It's too busy for me. Yeah, I know. I'm not much of a city gal myself. And we get up to London. Actually, typically we go up to London in the winter near Christmas, because the whole Christmas stuff and the lights, and we go to Soho or Chinatown or whatever, and we have a traditional English Chinese Christmas meal. I am so pleased with this video that I put together, guys. So I don't know about you, but if you're into Starfield, you're in one of two camps. Well, actually no, you're in one of three camps. One is somebody who pre-purchased and got the premium or the the digital deluxe or whatever, so that you could play it early by about a week. Or you're the one that didn't, and you just waited for it to come out on Game Pass, which makes a heap of sense, because quite honestly, all you got for your extra 20 quid was, I think there's a DLC, some downloadable content. Don't think of it like the sort of DLC, like Destiny DLC, where you buy additional content. Just think of it as a sort of another little mission, and skin. Right, so I mean, it's like all these things, they're never really worth it. But of course, you did get to play it a week early. However, if like me, you fall into the former camp, thinking to yourself, oh, it'll be cool because I'll play it on the old Steam version. And then when it comes out on Game Pass, I can flick it up on the old Xbox, play it in xCloud, because as you may or may not know, it is not available in the cloud anyway. You cannot play it on NVIDIA GeForce Now, and as much as there were some early rumours of it being on Boosteroid, I haven't seen it there myself. So either it is there, but only if you use the Steam hack, the one where you kind of say you want to play a game that's of a similar size, and then you load into your library and you say nah to that game, and instead you hunt down another game in your library and it fires that up. It's a thing. But I didn't do that. That's not the official thing. The official thing is that they go, hey, it's in the library for you to install or play or whatever, but it isn't. So as far as I'm aware, it's not in any cloud other than xCloud. So I was super excited and looking forward to playing it in xCloud. But when it came to Game Pass, it turns out it's not cross-save. So all of that week's worth of saving don't exist, none. Unless you carry on playing it on PC, of course. However, I found a solution. Oh yes, I think it's going to be a really big video, this one, because I reckon I'm not alone in feeling a bit, unhappy, sad face about that. So yes, indeed, I have found a solution, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good one. And I've made a video about it. It's only 5 minutes long, but it's packed with stupid sound effects and transitions and stickers and GIFs and you name it. I'm just trying a different approach. I'm just trying. But you know what? It made me laugh, but then I find myself funny. So anyway, it's all finished. All I've got to do is upload it and shove a thumbnail on it. So I'll be doing that later after the show. It's only 5 minutes, but you will enjoy it. It's quite fun. And if you have Starfield, even if you're thinking actually it'd be pretty cool to have the Steam version, I don't know why, because honestly the Xbox for PC version is the same. The only difference is that it doesn't have the extra content, but you're not really missing much. So I don't know. Anyway, I did, so I do, and I don't think I'm alone, so I'll whack that up later, and it's all fun. Yo, Raymond! How are you, my brother? How are you, brother Raymond? I hope you're keeping well, my friend, on this Monday, awesome Monday. Biggest surprise in Starfield, says Graphics, is I found is that it doesn't natively support 32:9. I sat like 2 monitors. Kind of a thing. I had to use a hex editor to alter. Ooh, get you with your hex. The hex editor. Get back. I'll put a hex on you. Wowza. I tell you what, it's already massively modded, isn't it? I know in the past Bethesda have not been happy about mods, and they've gone to the nth degree to prohibit their games from being modded, but they've kind of relaxed a bit over the years, and I know there's a ton of mods out there right now. So, yeah. I should have actually... You know what, Graphics? You should whack yours out as a mod, my friend, if you've managed to hex the code out of it. Get that up there on GitHub or Reddit or whatever. I think you should do that, for sure. Yes. I did actually attempt adding a mod Young Al put me onto this one, our amazing resident musician. He kind of do a benching test on Steam Deck, which is nice. Between desktop and Steam. Yes. Yeah, I mean, Steam you can save anywhere. You know, different platforms and what have you, not problem. And Xbox you can save anywhere, different Xbox, you know, the PC version or your your xCloudy version or whatever. But never the twain shall meet until my little, actually, it's no great surprise. You could Google it and find it, but it won't be as entertaining as my video is. It's entertaining, it made me laugh. Specifically, you need to watch out for a two-legged horse. I'm not saying much more than that. Suffice it to say, it made me chuckle. Now, what was I saying before I rudely interrupted myself? Anyway, yeah, Starfield, still enjoying it. I mean, the thing with Starfield is, as I know Ray found out, because Ray's been playing it a lot, you kind of just go off the beaten track. You can land on pretty much any planet, and there's a little side quest or a mission. Some of them quite complex. Some of them lead to amazing rewards, like, you know, top of the range ships. I watched a video earlier. Some guy, how the heck they discovered this, I do not know. But he discovered that if you take a certain route in one of the main planets, you can crack your way through the map. And then when you're in under the map, you can find chests full of millions of dollars worth of credits. And there's a way that you can get like tons of ships free as well. I mean, it was a bit of hassle. It was only a 6-minute video, but it was a bit, you know, up there, down there, left there, up through there, careful jump there, don't jump too much, you go back into the map and, you know, all that stuff. I couldn't be bothered with it, to be honest. But I was impressed. How do they do this? How do they manage to do it? I don't know. So Anne, whereabouts in New York did you go, my friend? Did you go to see the film in New York? Graphics says, I watched some of these reviews. I have to wonder if these people are even playing the same. I know, mate. I know. Absolutely bizarre. Complaining about, yeah, I know. It's interesting, actually. I knew back along there was going to be a fairly concerted effort to spam the Metacritics and the Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. It's just the way of the world right now, isn't it? I mean, it really is. It's horrible. You know, if you guys have seen or looked into Project 2025, for example, you know exactly what I'm saying. It's we are in a very, very dangerous time. But it's even in video gaming, where you get a concerted effort by people to try and upset the reviews or the review process. And yet, initially, there were some, you know, fairly damning reviews. But it's funny how over the last week or two, I can't remember when it came out now, they've been revising their reviews, and the legitimate numbers in Steam, the ratings on Steam or Metacritic have been gradually going up. I think the thing is this: if you aren't generally a fan of Bethesda games, you know the ones we're talking about, everything from Oblivion forward, right? If that's not your thing, then yeah, you may have some issues with it. The look and feel, the way they do their characters and the character animation, you know, the way you go through a camp, for example, and there's loads of stuff like ashtrays and, you know, useless stuff. And initially when you play the game, you just pick everything up because you're not really sure. And you soon realize that 90% of that stuff, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Al, and that's where I was going. Thank you, Al. You actually popped back to rejoin after 11 months. Wow, what a mensch. What a geezer. And it reminded me of where I was going earlier with my conversation. Thank you, Al. Al had put me on to this mod on Twitx, which gets DLSS into the game because it ain't there. Right? They've done a deal with AMD, and in fairness, AMD, the implementation of their upscaler is awesome when you play it on the Ally. It's fan-flippin-tastic because the Ally is an AMD GPU. And it really, really, really works well. So Al put me on to a little mod which enables you to run the latest version of NVIDIA's RTX DLSS. Now, it's wasted on me. I don't know what I'm doing. I tried. I thought I'd do it on the old Shadow, so if I blew it up, it wouldn't matter so much. Anyway, I thought it was working, and I was, oh yeah, this is great, look at this, wow, amazing. Only then I realised that actually if I took the upscaler up or down, it didn't change anything. So I clearly hadn't installed or implemented it. But Al, thank you for that, my friend. It's not you, it's me. It's not you, darling, it's me. So I don't know, but I'm, that's me. I mean, look, I bought this the other day. Actually, I didn't get to look at it until the weekend because I was away. I'll just drop it everywhere. What does it matter? Here it is. It's an SD card. Yeah, that's a new SATA 2 terabyte Samsung SD drive, which I bought for my PC because I was kind of wondering whether my C drive, my main HD, is just not fast enough anymore for these kinds of games because I was crashing all the time in Starfield. I actually think it is that now because I've been crashing with it a little bit on Shadow as well. I just think it's the game. I think the Steam implement, that's another reason why I'm keen, or have been keen, to play the Xbox PC version. Now I know technically it should be exactly the same, I get that, but I don't know. I mean, look, the Xbox version has all the stuff, the display stuff that Xbox itself doesn't have. So it should technically be the same. But I thought I'd give it a go. Anyway, 80 odd quid, which I thought was all right for a 2 terabyte drive. Only I've got to fit it. And I'm scared. I've taken the back off of it and I emailed the Cyber Power PC, they call it, I think, and said, mate, I don't know what I'm doing. Give me some instructions. It did. It gave me some really lovely instructions with photos and stuff. I'm still scared, but I will do. I'm going to have to unplug it, everything, like the whole lot, the cables, the whole lot, and have a look in there and see if I can fix it. I don't know though. I don't. Bulls for life. How are you, dude? Hey, Bulls, funny you come in, my friend. So I had a couple of ideas while I was away, right? Yeah, if you never played a Creation Engine game before, the jankiness. Yeah, exactly. And and that's where I was. Thank you, graphics. I was definitely going down that road. I kind of pulled out. So if you're being used to playing some of the newer games, even games that are maybe 5 or 6 years old now, like Gears of War, you might look at the graphics and think, "What the heck is this?" They're like rag dolls. But that's just the engine. That's what it is. You've got to get beyond all that, and it does take a little while. But when you do, and I would suggest playing first party, first person. That's the one. It works perfectly fine. You've got 2 levels of over the shoulder, but I actually prefer to play it first person. So you're not looking at, and also the character's got the worst running animation I've ever seen. I mean, it's like, for all my English, it's like Kenneth Williams. It's the campest run I've ever seen. So I prefer to go first person. But the point is not the look of the game so much. And in truth, you can knock everything down from ultra to medium, even to low. And for most of the game, it looks not a million miles different. Certainly on medium and high, I don't think you need to go to ultra. But the thing is the stories, and not even the main story, which is a bit, it's the little side quests, and you can join different factions, and you can become like a deputy in the space edition of the Wild West and stuff. And it's that makes the game. The fact that you can literally go to pretty much anywhere in this 1,000, I don't know if it's 1,000 planet or 1,000 solar system, Most places, I've not found anywhere where I haven't been able to land yet. But when you do land, particularly if it's got a proper landing place, there's usually something there, like a story or a little side quest or something to find. And yes, it does resemble No Man's Sky, although old school No Man's Sky. Somebody pointed out yesterday just how different No Man's Sky looks now to when I first played it, when it first came out. It's a different game. I must pull it up again and try to properly play it. I finished it the first time around. I really enjoyed it as well, but it is a different game. So, it has all that stuff going on, but, well, I think that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. I really don't. It's a component of a much bigger thing. But I'm enjoying it. I really am. I paid for it, and that doesn't happen often. These days, I try and avoid paying for games. So, been doing a bit of that. And I'm painfully aware that I still have to finish Hogwarts. I still have to finish Baldur's Brass. And there'll be, the Spider-Man coming up. There's some Destiny stuff that I'm not really that fussed about anymore, to be honest. I feel like I've moved on from Destiny now, which is a real shame. I played more Destiny than any other game ever. 4,000 hours, something like that. But they've just made it ridiculously hard and grindy now. I just don't think you can really play solo anymore. My dear friend Phil, who I haven't seen for a little while, he used to go in and solo everything. Even the really tough stuff. But even he doesn't bother anymore. It's just got stupid. And I haven't done a raid in years. And then they brought out my favourite raid, Crota. I loved the Crota raid. So many happy memories of the Crota raid. It was the first. We did the Mercury thing back in the day, but I got shouted at. I didn't enjoy it. I never enjoyed when you go in. This is why I don't do multiplayer, because you end up going in with a bunch of folk. And they go, what's your loadout? What's your build? What's your top weapon? Why are you wearing that armor? Why have you got that gun? And you're just thinking, you know what? I'm 56 years old. I really don't need this. So I don't bother. I don't. I don't mind playing with friends. I love playing with friends. I love playing Destiny with friends. People that you're just going to have a chill time. But I can't be doing with randoms, because there's always that sweaty unit who has been working on getting this one gun for 4 weeks, and all he's been waiting for is this one dude that can come into the party and carry them, and it ain't me. Yeah, I haven't even played the Witch DLC yet, says Balls. It's free on PlayStation this month, isn't it? Interestingly. Oh, it's such a shame, mate. Honestly, I loved Destiny 1, and as much as it needed an overhaul, it did. It was dragging its butt with its ancient engine that it had. I think it was even catering for the PS3. So I get that they needed to, but I just still to this day, they literally went away and came back with Destiny 2, which was not only a graphical overhaul, which looked nice, but they just everything, the mechanics, the worlds, the stories, everything was just different. And I don't, to this day, understand why, for the sake of it. I do wonder whether there was some level of commercial decision, because, of course, they fell out big time with Activision. And I don't know whether that was part and parcel of severing. So there was probably a load of joint IP and stuff that they needed to burn. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But it feels to me now that, I know that they are working on some offshoot games. So, they always said there would be a 10-year Destiny franchise. And indeed, next year is the 10th year. And then they would kill it off. They always said that. And they've not said that they won't. They've got the big final version, DLC, whatever it's called, coming out in Feb. But they're not going to kill it off. It's a huge franchise. Of course they're not. They will run Destiny 2 as it sits with all of its seasons for years to come. But more importantly, they'll break out into little sub-games. And I'm just hoping that one of those is going to cater more for casuals like me, rather than the super sweaties. They always tried from day one to make Destiny a sort of a jack of all trades that appeals to everybody. So on a Friday, you got the old Thing of Orion. Have they made? Well, it is. I mean, that's my whole point. That's my whole point now, Ant. It is forever. Of course it is. Sony just paid $4 billion for it. But the current arc of Destiny will end in Feb. Well, not Feb, but next year. And then they will, I mean, whether they move it to the cloud or not, I don't know. You know, whether it becomes a... That's what they should do. And they should have done that truthfully a while back, I think. See, I always loved the idea of merging Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 into this big kind of open, online open world. I still have Destiny 1 installed on my PlayStation 5. I go in there from time to time. I still find it the most... When that music fires up, that really emotive and original Destiny music, and you know, you got your ships and your armor, and you've got all of the worlds you've got the wolf, the Iron Wolf and stuff. It's all going on. But honestly, kept downloading it, and then I delete it. Then I'm like, nah, I'll play and go back. I know, mate. It's moved on, and I'm not the only one to say this, actually. I've seen a lot of people saying it on Twix. I've decided to call it Twix. You have Twixes in America, don't you? I was thinking, you put Twitter and X together, you get Twix. And then you get 2 fingers of chocolate, you see, to make the X. I've been meaning to make a little meme up, but then you go and find out that Musk is, in cahoots with Putin and trying to steer the war in Ukraine, and I just can't be bothered with him, to be honest. I can't. And I only hang on to my accounts. I've got 4 or 5 accounts, of which one has got about 16,000 followers, I think. I think my Rock Show one has about 3,500, 4,000, something like that. But I only really hang on to them because there's still, for me, no easier way of marketing the channel. I don't use the others at all. I've kind of stopped. I actually do use Threads more now than I do Twitter, in truth. It's politically much more up my avenue, and although there is a bit of a merger of Instagram meme stuff, which is a bit cruddy, in the main, there's some really quite interesting stuff on there. So I'm probably spending more time there. I downloaded Tribal the other day. That was a bit nyeh. I've still got my Spoutable account. And they've added some stuff in there, but they don't have the funding. I can't see them in for the long haul. And then I've still got my Mastodon account, which I still love. I think Mastodon's amazing. And once they decide, Dr. Funtime, what a party people! Once they finally put Threads out to the what's it called? It's not franchise. What's the word? The federated thingy bob. Once it goes out to that, then I will use my Mastodon account to read all my Threads stuff, because you'll be able to do that. I'm quite looking forward to that because I think the interface is better. I mean, there's 2 things that I don't like about Threads. One is the tiny, tiny size of the little avatar when you're scrolling, because I'm a visual dude, and in Twitter and other places I see the big icon, the big avatar first, and then I know that it's young Ron, for example, popping in with his little raffle, because I recognise his logo and his icon, and it works for me. But Threads has a tiny little thing. It's about the size of a small @ symbol. Plus, they use they carried over the username from Instagram, which is it's all lowercase, no spaces. It's real old school internet. Can't use mixed case, can't have characters, can't have spaces. So, it's all rock show low. Now, again, humans don't read that way. We use spaces and capitals to enable our brains to separate the words. So I struggle with that, and I struggle with the size of that. On that basis alone, all I bother with is the content. I don't bother to look to see who it's from, you see, because it's the only way. It's the only way it works for me. But the others seem to have got that sorted. Anyway, it's all good. Hello, Streamlabs. Anyway, yep. So I'm going to be getting this little video up. It's only 5 minutes long, but I'm quite excited with it. It's actually no AI in it at all. You'll be pleased to hear. It's all completely me. It's been an interesting experiment for me, actually. Working on AI videos versus manual videos. In my nirvana heaven, I'd still have, 60-40 in favor of AI, if I could get away with it. But in truth, there's only aspects of AI that currently allows you to do that. ChatGPT to help you to write the scripts, come up with script ideas, come up with video ideas. That works quite well. And using like 11 to do voiceover work. But again, it's actually, I wrote the script this morning for this video. It didn't take me very long. And by the time I'd put it into my voiceover app, 11, whatever it's called, 11 Labs, I thought, why not just get the mic out and do it myself? And in the end, it was far more expressive. And so that's what I did. I didn't bother. Graphics, they're coming on, but they're still very AI. I use a few different sources. I was using three different places to do text to video. But again, the problem they have is that they pull in very generic images. So when you're doing specific stuff like a review of Starfield, for example, you're gonna end up with, when you talk about space people, you're going to end up with an old 1960s shot of a astronaut or something, and you can't, none of it is relevant. I mean, it is, but it isn't, you know what I mean? So on that basis, until they allow you to specify the libraries that you want to pull images in from, because my business subscribes to a couple of image libraries that we use for commercial purposes, and they've got some really great stuff. And they don't need to pay for that. I've already got the license. All I need is for them to be able to let me plug an API in and use those images. It'll come, but you've got a bunch. It's really a startup Wild West again. Lots of money going into people doing the same thing, which means that 90% of them will be wiped out within 6 months because nobody will be using them and they won't be able to commercialize it. We're seeing already how the big guys, the Mid-Journeys and the Open AI, and they're all breaking out to their $20 to $30 a month space, which is only going to work for businesses and, particularly affluent individuals. And the problem is cost for them as well. When they're just running apps, when they were just running apps on their own code, all they had to worry about was hosting costs. It's pennies. Whether they used Amazon Web Services or whether they used a more traditional hosting service, the cost was very minimal. But when they're using the likes of NVIDIA computers or Microsoft Azure computers to do computations for AI, they get charged these huge compute cycles. And once you scale that to several thousand, some of these online AI graphics generation Discord-y things have got, at any one time, 20, 30, 40,000 people using. Each of those is costing that company, it may only be pennies, but if you multiply 1 penny by 16,000 times, it doesn't take, or 160,000 times, it doesn't take long before that's a huge cost. So they're having to come up with new business models which are alien to us. You get 100 credits and you're like, well, what's a credit? Because it does vary from provider to provider. You know, some providers will say, oh, a credit is a complete use. So if you generate a 5-minute video from a text prompt, that's a credit. And then others will say, oh, no, if you run your script through our audio generation and, you know, we put our voices onto that, that's a credit. And then and then 11 Labs, I think, do it even worse, because they do it by character. And the annoying thing with them is, as well, is you don't know how good it is until you've generated it and you've just gone and wasted 4,000 credits, you know, whatever, how many characters in your script. Whereas it would be so easy for them to use a really crappy robot voice that has no computation at all, just so that you can hear the pronunciation of the words. Make sure, maybe sometimes you have to write it phonetically. So like, for example, rock, if I don't put R-O-C-K, sometimes it will say roke. So, you know, you've got to do things like that. But then you've gone and wasted tons of credits to find out that it ain't working. And it could be, you know, so there's lots of stuff still. It's very Wild Westy. But a lot of money going into these places, and they're not, most of them won't survive. And just when they think they've got the next big thing, along comes somebody with a white paper from some university in Eastern Europe that blows what they're doing out of the water, you know. So it's a fascinating space, it really is. I wouldn't want to be in the app provision space for AI services right now, but I am pushing hard for my company to offer things like chatbots or AI-powered searches, that kind of stuff, within software applications or web-based software, that kind of stuff. Because, you know, that's cool. We could just plug in whatever the latest, best version of whatever that tool is, and take the learning curve away from the client. But certainly I wouldn't want to be the guy that's providing that service. And you can go anywhere now. WordPress, pretty much any of these tools, Google Docs, they're all building AI services in to enable you to, you know, like Google are doing it all over the place. If you've got a public version versus the commercial version, we my company pays for Google apps, and it's annoying as hell because they get the features last and you tend to get locked down with them and stuff. But if you just go and use your own Gmail version and you go into Google Docs, you know, it'll offer to write an entire document for you. Or if you're in Gmail, it'll say, well, what kind of email are you trying to send? Let me write that for you. This is, in a way, I suppose, I wonder how... They say that when the calculator came out, we stopped. Our ability to do mental arithmetic fell through the floor. And it's true. I mean, you know, we can do basic stuff. But there were, if you go back to Victorian times, shopkeepers were able to do, you know, they were able to tot up half a dozen customers' purchases in their head, do the whole maths, work out what it was. And we can't do it. We can do it. Humans can do that, but our brains have stopped being trained to do it because we use calculators. And then word processors, and, you know, Google came out and they say Google killed the art of reading books and research. One does have to wonder where AI is going to take us when, and I'm using it all the time for this, by the way. I will say, I said this morning to AI, you know, I'll write me three or four blog posts for my company website. I had to do a little bit of tinkering, but in the main, they were brilliant. That would have taken me hours. And more importantly, it would have been the work of dedicated copywriters or dedicated marketing consultants. I've hired companies in the past whose job were to come up with 3 or 4 blog posts a week around what we do. Don't need to do that anymore. You can even buy, or you can even use plugins with ChatGPT that you can just give it 100 topics and it will write 100 blog posts, and then you can take those and put them into an application that will drip feed them onto your website over a period of time. So you don't even need to think about it. It's amazing, really. But there's an up and a down to everything, isn't there? A yin and a yang, you know, a positive and a negative. There will definitely be negatives. We will see in fairly short space of time a lot of the knowledge economy, all the way up to people like lawyers and general practitioner doctors, whose job really is just to regurgitate information. We'll see those jobs gradually being replaced. It will happen. People that run stock exchanges, you know, and keep an eye on markets, that's already by and large. If you go to Wall Street, I was watching an old episode of American Chopper the other day, which is one of my favorite all-time shows, ridiculously, but I love it. And Paul Sr. was invited to ring the bell in Wall Street. I forget what it's called now. Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, and it's just crawling with people in all their red jackets and their blue jackets and their yellow jackets, you know, with their bits of paper, buying stock, selling stock. Go there now, it's dead. And this show is only, I mean, that's probably about 10 years old. But if you go there now, no ringing of bells and stuff, it's empty. Everything is computerized. And that's how it's going to go. It's fascinating, really. But that said, there's still a ton of jobs that will be very difficult to replace. I'm not just talking physical jobs either. I mean, in terms of, you know, Britain as a country, we're a service industry based business. Interestingly, most of our governments have failed to notice that, but it's true. But there's still, you know, I've said it myself, I still need right now, I can only find about 30 to 40% of the creative process that can be replaced by AI. And I'm even becoming more and more cynical with the quality of that over time and ending up doing most of it myself. But that will change, but it's going to depend on what the market wants. And there will be some markets that just won't want it. There'll be some, you know, look, yes, if you want if you want to talk to a human-like individual and you don't mind the fact that they're a little bit robotic because you've been up for 4 hours on a Sunday morning with this real pain in your left side and you have to wait till Monday to book an appointment, which you may not get to see your GP for a week, then you're not going to have a massive issue with going to this AI, robotic, human-looking individual. And by human-looking, I'm talking about a full-on photorealistic image, right, which will have your medical records because they're logged somewhere. It knows what you've been suffering with. It knows a lot about your history and your past. And it's going to be able to do so much of that stuff. Oh, Rokk. Oh, thanks for breaking. That's good. Come on. Yep, to answer your question, I went to Manhattan. Oh, Manhattan Transfer. I don't know, did Manhattan Transfer ever make it to America? They were a little British band. They did one famous song in the UK, which nobody watching this remember. It was Chanson de Mieux. Rat-ta-ta-ta-ta. Manhattan Transfer. How did you find it, mate? Manhattan's it's full-on central New York, isn't it? Definitely want to get up there. We've been saying for the longest time we want to do the East Coast, but we always end up doing the West Coast because my kids want to go to Disney again for the nth time. But now that they're off, you know, off to the world of work and living away from home and what have you, it's all coming up. I think we'll be able to be a bit more choosy about where we go. So yeah, I'm really keen to do the East Coast. Wanted to do East Coast for so long. I love the history. I mean, it's, you know, the whole kind of, it's where it all started as far as Europeans, isn't it? Kind of taking over the Americas. So I definitely want to do that. And see a few guys as well. See you, Ant, and you know, folk what lives in that neck of the woods. That'll be fun. For sure. Right, I'm going to go off and create my thumbnail. and title and description and tags and all the other stuff that I do these days on your videos. And we'll see where it goes. Thank you for joining. Today was Awesome Monday. So we've got Awesome Monday, Super Tuesday, and whatever it is, Good News Wednesday. I just thought, well, what the heck? We do talk gaming. We cover as much of it as I can possibly muster. But equally, quite like just walking off into another direction sometimes. AI is really at the forefront of my mind right now. So what you get with me is almost a stream of conscious, where I just talk about the stuff that's in my head. And I do appreciate it's not for everybody, but I do appreciate it is for you. And I really appreciate you guys hanging around. Thank you so much, guys. My big plan at the moment is to try and do a lot more pre-recorded stuff. I don't have the patience to do anything longer than a few minutes, but definitely I'm building up for it. And I would do a lot of stuff on AI if it wasn't already absolutely saturated out there with people doing it. But I will be looking to implement AI into the creative process more and more. Now, I look every single day for new applications and services, and the specific ones that catch my ear, like text to video, text to imagery, any of the generative stuff, text to audio, video to video, image to video, anything at all that I think could work. And when finally I get a really, really good process, then I want to do some stuff on that content-wise, and share the knowledge. But for now, I'm spending money as well on some of these subscriptions to try them out. Nothing yet for me, and knowing how most of us work has really worked. I can see how, for example, if you wanted to create a video that used generic content like a walk around Paris, or the 10 best places to visit in Manhattan, for example, then you can use those services really well because they just pull in all this generic video content that exists in the bucket. But when you start saying, do a review from a casual gamer's perspective of Baldur's Gate, it's dead. Because for a start, ChatGPT, I think it hasn't had its data updated since 2021, 2022, because it takes so long to add data. So you end up using plugins that will go off onto the web and find content and then, look at it and stuff. But it basically means if you're trying to do anything that's up to date, your quid's out. But it's fascinating, and I'm absolutely fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by it because my business needs to be in that space, providing those kinds of services, which it is. And as a content creator, I am this is an interesting thought I just had, which I don't think I've had before. I am more of a content creator than a content producer, if that makes sense. So I can come up with ideas and I can visualize how I want something to look. But what I don't have is the time and the patience to spend days putting it together, as is the case with most of the top guys. As you know, most of them will work on they'll have some guy working on researching an idea. They'll get together, they'll get their team, and a lot of these places like Linus Tech Tips, Linus Tech Tips, and Marcus, who's one of my favorites, MKLB, and all these guys, you see them and occasionally one or two other people on camera. What you don't realize is that a lot of the big guys have actually got maybe 30 or 40 staff running everything from the business end to the accounts to the sales, and then in the creative process they'll have researchers, they'll have copywriters, they'll have the technicians, they'll have the camera guys, they'll have the audio guys, they'll have the video editors, the producers, masses, SEO guy. So the talent will sit around a table, they'll come up with ideas, And then he will they'll go off and research it, and he'll come back and he will be given the script, and they'll rehearse it, and he'll do his thing and most or her thing. And most of them are super talented. And, you know, they don't need to do a load of rehearsal and stuff. And they don't necessarily read a green screen either. They just want a kind of good feel about what they're trying to achieve. But when you're doing it yourself, as we do, it's a whole other world. And what I'm trying to do is get to a place using technology where somebody who is more creative is able to offload the production to technology in order to release the time to come up with many, many more ideas and not have to pay even 25 bucks a video as you can do on Fiverr, or 40 grand a year to have an in-house producer. So that's kind of where I'm working towards. And it fascinates me, and I probably should document it and share some of my experiences and experiments, but I'm too lazy. Anyway, you wonderful people, go away, have a fantastic Monday, have an awesome Monday. Tomorrow it's Super Tuesday. Funny enough, Super Tuesday, if you remember last week, we played a bit of vaudeville, the AI game, and I'm quite keen to do some kind of gameplay on a Tuesday, but not just the norm. So looking for games that are a little bit out of the ordinary. So I'm going to try, I'll come up with something hopefully for tomorrow, and we'll have a look at that. And then of course we have Good News Wednesday. And as to whether I'm going to do Thursday or Friday, I don't know yet. Friday, we obviously Friday, it's Members Friday. So that just leaves Thursday. I might take Thursday off because of course, Bjorn does Rock Players on Thursday. And I've always said that it's a bit daft me doing the whole kind of cloud gaming thing on Thursday when they go into it in detail just a couple of hours later. And so many other guys do. NVIDIA, GeForce Now, Boosteroid, on a Thursday. You know, you've spoiled for choice. So we'll see. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to go off and get my dinner. Have an amazing, awesome Monday. Oh, it's Amazon Parcel Man's just arrived. And the weird thing is, Amazon Parcel Man came earlier today. Same dude. That's a logistics breakdown, guys. Why is he coming back twice in the same day? Unless he forgot his original parcel. Maybe he found it in the back of his wagon. I don't know. It's not for me anyway. I don't buy nothing. It'll be for the gals. Chaps and chapesses, thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow, and I will have all the tech working as well. Have a fantastic Monday. Start to your week, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Rokk Out.